Welcome back to RV News, your number one source for the most explosive updates on currency revaluations, global financial shifts, and everything related to the IQD VND and the broader RV community. If you're holding on to Dinar or Dong, or you're just curious about what might be one of the biggest financial stories of the decade, you're in the right place. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single update. We dive deep, we connect the dots, and we keep you ahead of the curve. Now let's get into today's huge development, and I mean huge, involving the Vietnamese Dong and the potential ripple effect it could have on the Iraqi Dinar. This is something the community has been watching for months, and finally, the pieces seem to be falling into place. So here's what we know. As of May 2025, multiple credible sources, both within the banking sector and financial intelligence communities, have confirmed that the Vietnamese Dong has officially received an adjusted exchange rate. That's right. After years of speculation, cautious optimism, and countless false alarms, the long-anticipated move appears to be happening. While the rate shift may not be the full-blown revaluation that some in the RV world have envisioned, it undeniably marks a pivotal moment. The change is real, it's on the books, and it's being acknowledged not just in Vietnam but by international financial institutions, including some major US banks. And if history tells us anything, when one domino falls in this tightly connected financial world, others are soon to follow. For years, Vietnam has maintained an artificially low value for the Dong. This was a strategic move designed to boost exports and keep the country competitive in the global market. But in 2024 and early 2025, the Vietnamese economy began showing serious signs of strength. With increased foreign direct investment, a booming tech and manufacturing sector, and a rapidly rising middle class, economic pressure began mounting to allow the currency to reflect its true value. Add to that the recent deals between Vietnam and Western trade partners, particularly the US and EU, and you have the perfect storm for a revaluation to occur. And now, in 2025, that revaluation, or at least a meaningful adjustment, has been confirmed. Sources inside Chase Bank and Wells Fargo have reportedly seen updated currency screens showing the Dong trading at a significantly higher rate than in previous years. This isn't just a rumor from some fringe blog. We're talking about bank tellers, financial consultants, and even FX desks flagging the changes. In fact, a few holders of Dong have already exchanged small amounts and reported back with screenshots, receipts, and even videos showing the increased rates. And while not every bank is offering the same rate, a common practice during the early stages of any RV scenario, there is a definite and undeniable shift in how the VND is being handled domestically and internationally. What's even more fascinating is how this move by Vietnam could serve as a model or a trigger for the Iraqi Dinar. Let's face it, the IQD and VND have long been discussed together in the same breath among revaluation enthusiasts. Both are undervalued. Both are held in large amounts by foreign investors and speculators, and both are nations with significant untapped economic potential. Iraq, in particular, is sitting on one of the largest proven oil reserves in the world, yet its currency has remained depressed for years, largely due to political instability, corruption, and the slow pace of economic reform. But that might be changing. Over the past year, Iraq has made remarkable progress on multiple fronts. First, there's been an increased crackdown on corruption. The government has shown a willingness to tackle financial mismanagement and align itself with international monetary standards. That alone is a strong signal to the IMF and World Bank, two institutions whose green light is often crucial in any currency revaluation. Secondly, the country's oil exports have reached new highs in 2025. With global energy prices stabilizing and demand returning post-recession, Iraq is once again raking in billions in oil revenue. This creates a strong economic foundation for the IQD to be adjusted upwards. Furthermore, whispers from within the Central Bank of Iraq have hinted that preparations for a rate adjustment are already underway. Training sessions for bank staff, updates to the banking software, new currency, printing contracts, all these things have been noted and quietly confirmed by sources close to the action. And now, with Vietnam making its move, the question on everyone's mind is simple. Is Iraq next? Financial analysts say the likelihood is growing. Historically, currency moves like this don't happen in a vacuum. When one undervalued currency gets restructured or revalued, it often leads to a domino effect, especially if the countries involved are in the same geopolitical or economic strata. Think back to the early 2000s, when the Asian tigers experienced rapid currency shifts, or even more recently when African currencies were adjusted in tandem following IMF interventions. If Vietnam, with its strong export-based economy, can make a controlled revaluation work, then so can Iraq, especially with oil revenues and international support behind it. Let's also consider the strategic timing. 2025 is a year of recalibration for the global financial system. With the dollar showing signs of fluctuation and BRICS nations pushing harder for a multipolar currency system, there is increased pressure on emerging economies to redefine their place in the world market. Vietnam has clearly chosen to be proactive, aligning its currency with its economic reality, and Iraq, now under international watch, may have little choice but to follow suit, especially if it wants to remain competitive and attract sustained foreign investment. The banking community is also preparing. Reports have surfaced that banks, such as HSBC, Citi, and even mid-tier regional banks are increasing their holdings of both the Dong and Dinar in anticipation of further movement. Specialized currency desks are being staffed up. Forex apps and online currency converters are showing anomalies in the VND and IQD values. And perhaps most telling of all, central banks in the Middle East and Asia are rebalancing their foreign reserves to include more of these undervalued currencies. This isn't just a trend, it's a coordinated shift. And let's talk about the retail side, you, the holders. For years, IQD and VND holders have been called conspiracy theorists, dreamers and worse. But now those who held the line stayed informed and kept the faith are seeing the first real signs of what could be a massive payout. Of course, this isn't financial advice, and every investment carries risk, but the writing is on the wall. The world is shifting, the financial system is recalibrating, and those who've been patient may soon be rewarded in a way they never imagined. We also can't ignore the spiritual and humanitarian side of this revaluation narrative. For many in the community, this isn't just about getting rich, it's about redistributing wealth, helping communities, starting foundations and funding missions. If the RV goes as many believe it will, countless lives could be changed, not just for the investors but for millions around the world who could benefit from the generosity and foresight of those who've prepared for this moment. It's a powerful, hopeful vision, and one that drives this community forward. Now let's take a moment to address the skeptics. Yes, the RV community has dealt with misinformation. Yes, there have been false alarms, but this moment feels different. The rate change in the Dong is confirmed. The international financial community is responding, and the dominoes are lining up in ways we've never seen before. The IQD may not move tomorrow or next week, but the groundwork is being laid. And fast. Stay alert. Keep your currency safe, avoid scams and fake exchange centers. And most importantly, stay informed with credible sources, like RV News. Our commitment is to bring you the facts, the analysis, and the insights you need to navigate these exciting and potentially life-changing times. We are not here to hype. We are here to report, to investigate, and to help you stay one step ahead of the game. In the coming days and weeks, we expect to see more concrete data on the Vietnamese Dong's new rate. Some experts are predicting even further adjustments by mid-summer, as Vietnam finalizes trade deals with new partners. This isn't just a one-and-done move. This is likely the beginning of a staged revaluation designed to stabilize the market, while gradually increasing value. And if Iraq mirrors this model, then 2025 could be remembered as the year the IQD finally began its ascent. We also advise our viewers to keep an eye on key financial meetings happening soon, particularly those involving the IMF, World Bank, and G20 finance ministers. Quiet policy shifts and backroom agreements often lead to public revaluation events. As we saw with the Vietnamese Dong, there were months of quiet build-up before the change became public. That same blueprint could be in play for Iraq, or even other currencies waiting in the wings. So what can you do now? Stay educated, research everything, connect with your local banks, financial advisors, and trusted currency exchange professionals. Consider diversification, understand the tax implications, and above all, be ready. We're not saying sell everything and go all in, but if you've made the choice to hold IQD or VND, understand the land,